See if we can possibly get a stream key on it. Oh, that's so weird. It said it like literally doesn't let you access it. Ah, did I just do it? I did. I think I did it. It's toggled on. I think we did it. Y'all, I think we fucking did it. Feels frozen. I feel frozen. Am I moving actually? Am I actually moving? Hey. I don't know, y'all. I think we might have done it. We might have actually done it. Let's just throw the poll of the day on here. Let's get this puppy moving. Let's see if we actually did what we thought we did here on this motherfucker. YouTube. And if I go to YouTube's, I should be able to get the Iranian that way. And that should give me the full screen. Yeah, absolutely, right? Of course. But if I want to go here, I just want to go mobile. Wait, can I go mobile? Can anybody confirm mobile? Let me confirm mobile. I want to make sure that I can mobile myself out of here. No, that's regular. That's regular too. I'm being deceived. This is not real. You can't do it. It cannot be done. Is anybody live on the shorts? No, I don't think so. It says it's there, though. It's saying it's a duel. It's saying there's 12 people in here. Should we go for it? Should we just go for it? 12 viewers. 12 viewers feels right. Can't do it. It cannot be done. Monday. Yeah, Monday back. Talk about it, Michael. Michael, are you on desktop or are you on the mobile? Because when I try to do mobile via my phone, it will not let me go on it. It sends me to the desktop live. There is no mobile live for these people. We do have 16 live in the chat, though, so let's go ahead and just get the fucking show on the road. Why not? Here we are, guys. Back with you once again. No news is news. Here today, once again, with the news, as we are, 5 days a week, 3 hours a day, in the chat. And, of course, the poll of the day, as it is every day on No News is News. Got to go to our Kelchi poll. You are on the phone. Are you getting the mobile live stream, Michael? Are you getting the mobile live stream, or are you getting a rectangular horizontal, like a regular YouTube video being sent to your phone? Who am I? My name is Alex Wagner. I am the host of No News is News, and we are covering the news live every day, 5 days a week. Come join us. All right, guys. JD Vance still number one. Oh, but the poll did change. It changed back. Let's double check in now on what day of the poll this is now, because there was a lot. We did a lot for a minute there. This will be day 21. Okay, so who will, awesome. If you got mobile, that means that we're doing good. Who will be president in 2028? Day 21 of poll. We got JD Vance with 18 wins. We got Gavin Newsom with 2 wins. We got Marco Rubio. And number 4, surprise, surprise, no longer Mrs. AOC. Instead, number 4 is, with 6%, John Ossoff. So there we go. Day 21 of our poll back at ya. Chatting her up with the Chatterinos. Is this news? This is news. But no news is the news. Here we go with the news, y'all. First up, as always, Daddy Trump. Let's get at it. What's he got to say today?
I'm a retired lieutenant colonel in United.
JD is 28 and 32. Possibly. There we go. Oh man, a full fucking hour of small business, y'all? What the fuck is going on? What game are we playing today? Thank you.
Well, we have a great group of people outside. I just looked at their wares, and it's beautiful stuff. Made in America. It's great, great stuff. Please sit down. I'm thrilled to be with you and welcome you to the most fabulous place, the White House. There's nothing quite like it. People come from all over the world. The King and Queen were just here, and they looked and they said, this place is just amazing. When they came into the Oval Office, they said, this is something. And they've seen some very nice places. They've seen some great rooms, but it is a very special place as we celebrate National Small Business Week. So let me begin by saying congratulations to the small business people of the year from all 50 states. It's a big deal. It's a big deal, and you can be proud of yourself. Our country's made up of a lot of small businesses, and that ends up being a really big business. As small business owners and operators, the people in this room represent the 36 million small businesses who create 40% of all economic activity in the United States. Think of that. A group of people added together. You're essentially the most important factor business-wise in the whole country. And this country is leading the whole world. We are now. That I can tell you by a lot. You're the lifeblood of the American economy, and with your help, we're truly making America great again. We're doing record business. We have a stock market that hit even with this military operation, call it whatever you want. We can't let Iran have a nuclear weapon. We hit all new highs, and I said we have to take care of business because we can't let that happen. So we did a little detour, and it's working out very nicely. They have no Navy. They have no Air Force. They have no anti-aircraft equipment. They have no radar. They have no nothing. They have no leaders, actually. The leaders happen to be gone also. But can't let them have a nuclear weapon, or you're going to have problems like nobody would believe.
Biden has done. Exactly.
And it's going very well. We're also pleased to be joined this afternoon by Secretary of Energy Chris Wright, who's been amazing. Where's Chris? Except everybody was wrong. They thought that energy would be at $300, right? $300 a barrel, and it's like at 100. And I think going down, and I see it going down very substantially when this is over, Chris. And I think very rapidly too, at levels that you've never seen, because there's a lot of energy out there of ships all over the world that are loaded up with it. They can't do much with it because they got kidnapped by a pretty evil place, but we're taking care of it. We have Administrator Kelly Loeffler, who's incredible, and she's the head of the Small Business Administration. We're thinking about a name change, but I don't know. It's still pretty good name. And I always say the small business is a giant business, because when you add up your whole department, that's not a small business. That's a really big business, the biggest. Under the last administration and their radical left allies in Congress, small businesses were brutally crushed by the worst inflation in American history. We had the worst inflation under Biden that we've ever had, and I always say, I always like to correct, because if I don't correct, then the papers, the media goes crazy. He made a mistake. Well, the official number is 48 years. I say the worst in it because I don't believe the 48 years. I say it was worse than that, but
Bro's
in
eyes
many
are
ways,
like
48
tiny
years
right now. I'm always
sounds
doing
worse
them.
than
You got
in
tiny
history. I
eyes
don't know
right now.
why. But it was 48 years or worse. It was in a Biden inflation. They had this
Trump
is
is
what I
great.
inherited, and now we had it down
Short-term,
where
past some long-term
just prior to the
gain.
war,
Exactly.
the inflation was 1.4%, and for 3 months, over a 3-month, 4-month period, took me a little while to get it down from the levels it reached. Biden added $6 trillion worth of new regulations and created an estimated 356 hours of paperwork every year for small businesses. You know what that means better than anybody. It means no good. Their policies punish hardworking citizens, and our policies protect you and reward you. And also, we have to have something else that I think is good for your businesses. We are respected all over the world now, again, as a country. We were laughed at. We were a joke. We were a total joke. Right, Rick? I see Rick, my television star over here. He's been with us from the beginning, haven't you? Like maybe from the first speech. Long time, right? Thank you. Thank you very much. Well, I think we're doing good for you, Rick, right? And you're doing good with your shop? And I know you're doing good on the television camera, so that's maybe more. Ah, that's good. That's great. Thank you, Rick. Last summer, I proudly signed the great, big, beautiful bill, the largest tax cuts in the history of our country, and boosting millions of small businesses. Thank you. Boosting millions of small businesses. We passed no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security for our seniors. That's big stuff. And we add that to the package that we approved in my first term. We had the best financial years in the history of our country in my first term, and I think we're going to blow them away this term. You know, in this term, we have $18 trillion being invested in our country. And if you look at the last administration, they had less than $1 trillion for 4 years. We have $18 trillion during 11 months. The 12th month hasn't come in yet in terms of the numbers. But in 11 months, $18 trillion investments. We have auto plants being built all over the country, AI plants we're doing, and we're leading China in AI. And I'm going to go see President Xi in 2 weeks. I look forward to that, but I'll say I'm leading. We have
pretty much.
We have
Sounds
friendly.
good.
We have very friendly competition.
Common sense, kind of.
But it'll be a very important trip. We provided 100% expensing and bonus depreciation, which is tremendous. One of the biggest things that you have. I mean, it's people have no idea how big that is. The businesses do, so that businesses can deduct 100% of the cost of new facilities, equipment, and capital investment in the first year. It used to take 38 years of deduction. Now you get it done in one. You can take one, so you can expand. I think that's what made us so successful in the first term, but now we have it for a 10-year period. So you have it for a while. I really was going to make it for a 1-year period. That would mean you spend all your money immediately. Now, unfortunately, I gave you too much time. I was sort of against that. I said, let's do it for a shorter period of time, but we did it. It's the right thing. And this way, when I get out of
America
office in, let's say, 8 or 9 years from now, I'll be able to use it. I'll be able to use it myself.
Global knowledge feature
And to
here.
ensure that you and your family
Right,
can
the
keep your
person.
businesses in the family, we virtually eliminated the unfair estate tax or death tax for farmers and for small businesses. So, you know, oftentimes you build, I mean, I just met some incredible people. They have beautiful businesses, small businesses. They want to have their children. Those businesses were all long-term. It was, the father was there, right? We're just talking about with the beautiful pretzels. I said, pretzels, oh, those look good. I wanted to take some right now, but I didn't want to be rude and rip your bag apart. But the businesses they've been in business for a long time, almost every one of them. And you pass away, you want to have your children take over your business, they work in your business, and they got hit with the state tax, or we call it the death tax, but we call it both. It does the same
Yo,
thing.
just hitting 21, just hitting 20 in the chat. Make sure you double tap, hit that like button, and hit that subscribe. If you have just joined us, make sure you get in for that poll of the day. Our poll of the day every day on this channel is, who will be president in 2028?
And they couldn't afford it. They went out, they take the business, they mortgage it up to pay the tax, and they end up losing the business. They
Trump
end up
is
going
doing
bankrupt.
what
They end up,
we
in
elected
many
him to
cases,
do.
committing suicide.
Pretty much.
A lot of that. You have a lot, especially
Approval rating
farms.
says
you know.
otherwise.
They want to be on that farm. They
What
don't want to
approval
lose their
rating?
farm. And it's land rich and cash poor. And they go out and they borrow and borrow
Bro.
and keep borrowing. We ended that. No more estate taxes on farms and small businesses. So I hope everyone's appreciative of it. Now, if you don't
nice
like
to
the
see
children, it doesn't mean anything. But if you do like to leave them to somebody that you love, then it's a big deal for them. You have other problems, but for them, it's a big deal. And I want to say thanks to these tax cuts. 12 million American small businesses got an average tax cut of over $7,000, and our pass-through deduction alone is delivering an average of $4,600 in savings to 8 million entrepreneurs, and is projected to generate $750 billion in economic growth for the country. So many, it's really amazing. I see it on the television. I don't call this fake news because this is real fake news, but when you look at some of the things that have taken place, we don't get covered correctly. But in terms of the truth, we're having $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $10,000, $11,000 with no tax on tips and no tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime. And people are making sometimes 11. I've seen it just where they're asking people virtually on the street, how is it doing? And everyone's surprised, including me. I didn't know.
They're asking people virtually. I've seen it. They're asking people virtually on the street. We never said the man was articulate. We just said he was our daddy.
It was going to be as much, but I knew it was going to be a lot. But you have people that make an extra $7,000, $8,000, $9,000 a year between the no tax on tips, no tax on overtime is a big one.
Only
It's
2
a
more
big
years.
one.
But
But the no tax on tip.
Then you got another
tips
4.
was
Then you got
great.
another 4. Then you got another 4.
I won the.
I don't think that ever ends.
You know, typically, I don't know why. I can't imagine people voting for the other side with their policies on everything beyond this, long beyond this. But we won Nevada by a lot, and typically Democrats win that state. And no tax on tips.
Newsom,
a lot of
Trump
people
actually
getting
called
tips in Nevada,
President
so
Newsom.
it had a big
I know.
impact on people,
We're kinda past that.
and much bigger than they thought. And they're just now starting to realize how big and how really wonderful the great big beautiful, I call it the great big beautiful bill is, because we really, it should be called the great big beautiful tax cut bill and regulation cut bill. We put everything in for.
It really should be called the big, beautiful, big tax cut bill. If you're just joining us, hit that like button, hit subscribe. 3 hours a day, every day of the week. No news is news.
If we didn't pass another bill, which won't happen because you always want to keep going, but everything was put into this one bill. That's why it's called the Great Big Beautiful Bill. And one of the things that happened is we were going to do it over 17 different bills. And I said, let's give it a shot. Put everything in one bill. And thank goodness we did it, because the Democrats don't approve anything. They don't approve. You can have the best thing. It can be for security. Look at the security. They want to defund ICE. They want to defund our incredible Border Patrol. They want to, essentially, they want to defund the police, but they don't want to say it. It's crazy what's going on. So
everything is beautiful, especially from Hormuz and gas prices. Yeah, beautiful. All right. You said it. Whenever somebody mentions the Middle East, we go to our number one news source for the war on the day, Mosh News, and we pull them up. We see what's actually going on with the news. We see what's actually going on with the war. No AI, no nonsense. Let's recap. 10 hours ago, Iran threatens ships after Trump says U.S. will break Iran's blockade at the Strait of Hormuz. Iran pushed back against President Trump's claims that the United States would assess ships to exit the Strait of Hormuz on Monday, threatening to attack American ships and any commercial vessels that sought to transit through the waterway without Iranian permission. Trump said on Sunday that the United States would help ships trapped in the waterway because the U.S.-Israeli war with Iran to get out, but did not provide details of what that would entail. The U.S. Central Command, which oversees Middle East operations, said in a statement on Sunday that the United States would help coordinate the movement of stranded ships. That was from the New York Times 10 hours ago. What Trump said Sunday: countries from all over the world have asked the United States if we could help free up their ships, which are locked up in the Strait of Hormuz, Trump wrote on Truth Social on Sunday. For the good of Iran and the Middle East, the United States, we have told these countries that we will guide their ships safely out of these restricted waterways so that they can freely and ably get on with their business. The new mechanism, which Trump dubbed Project Freedom, is effectively a coordination cell to move traffic through the Strait of Hormuz, involving countries, insurance companies, and shipping organizations, according to two senior U.S. officials. It doesn't currently involve U.S. Navy warships escorting vessels through the strait. 9. Supreme Court restores access to abortion pill misoprostol through telehealth, mail, and pharmacies, from AAP. Then we got 9 hours ago. UAE says it intercepted 3 missiles from Iran. The UAE Defense Ministry said its air defense system intercepted 3 missiles fired from Iran after residents received alerts warning of an immediate missile attack. They say a 4th Iranian missile fell into the sea, Iran trying to send message not to go around their blockade. This 8 hours ago, it appears something was hit inside UAE. There is now talks of planned response from the U.S. and UAE. Multiple flights bound for the Dubai and Abu Dhabi, UAE, have diverted to Muscat, Oman, amid Iranian attacks on the region. U.S. sinks 6 Iranian boats. This is 7 hours ago. Admiral Command Brad Cooper, commander of U.S. Central Command, told reporters that American forces have opened a passage through the strait and that U.S. military helicopters have sunk 6 Iranian small boats that were targeting civilian vessels. He said Iran has launched multiple cruise missiles, drones, and small boats at ships the U.S. military is protecting, and that each and every one of the threats had been defeated. Breaking Iran's chokehold on the strait would ease global economic concerns and deny Tehran a major source of leverage. But such efforts also risk reigniting the full-scale fighting. Oh, sensitive content. What is this? Serial. Okay. Okay. 4 hours ago, search continues for 2 missing U.S. soldiers in Morocco. 2 U.S. service members are missing after participating in a multinational training exercise in Morocco, according to a statement Sunday from U.S. African Command. The service members were participating in the annual African Lion exercise in the North African nation when they were reported missing. The U.S. officials said that both soldiers are with the Army and were on a hike when they are believed to have fallen from a cliff and into the ocean. There is no indication of foul play. In addition to U.S. and Moroccan helicopters, drones, and naval vessels, Moroccan mountaineers and divers are also assisting in the search African Lion is a major annual exercise involving roughly 5,000 troops and personnel from some 40 different countries. Via ABC News. Scary situation out of the sea. No one is allowing the ship to dock at the moment. Suspected hantavirus outbreak on cruise ship kills 3, sickens several more. 3 people have died and several more people are sick after an illness broke out on a cruise ship traveling from South America to Africa. The ship MV Honduras is operated by Oceanwide Expeditions and was carrying about 150 passengers. It is now being held off the coast of Cape Verde, which has refused to let it dock. The passengers evacuated to South Africa tested positive for hantavirus. The virus is suspected to have killed 3 people and sickened 3 more, with 1 patient hospitalized in critical condition. The 2 crew members are sick and passengers are under strict monitoring and isolation protocols. Hantavirus is a rare but potentially deadly disease spread mainly through contact and infected rodent droppings, urine, and saliva. It typically spreads when people inhale contaminated particles. Through a rare cases, some stains can spread between humans. Symptoms flu-like, including fever, chills, and muscle aches. They can quickly progress to severe breathing problems as the lungs fill with fluid. The most severe form has a fatal rate of about 35%, according to a CDC, through outcomes vary. Treatments. There is no specific cure, but early medical treatment can significantly improve chances of survival. And the passengers on the ship. I don't even understand the ship thing, guys. Because, like, again, if it's only a 35% fatality rate, then what the fuck are we doing? Let the ship dock. 35% of the population can just, deal with it, and that's what it is. Let's get into these comments real quick. Don't worry, be happy. The Lord is these days X swords, blah, blah, blah. Trump X Elon is so sweet, just pissing everyone off. They should kiss in public, not just in their secret little canopy. Elon X Trump. Tough crowd, huh? Haven't heard of that one.
Put it all at the
Trump
beginning.
and
We have a
Elon
little honeymoon
fucking?
period,
I don't
a
know,
tiny
maybe.
little honeymoon period in this case, so we got it all
So
approved.
he's talking about their honeymoon with
Late
Elon?
at night
Is
it
that
got
what
approved. And this was really done as a 4-year bill, Kelly. You know that very well. You were a big part of it. And
Double tap,
we
hit
got
that
it
like
done,
button,
and
y'all.
everybody was
Hit the
surprised. They thought we had to
subscribe.
do it in little tranches. I don't know that we would have gotten the little tranches done. There was so much in here that people
Get out of my
had to
face.
approve it. And if we would have done it individually, I'm not sure it would have gotten done. Plenty of those individual elements would not have gotten done. And almost as important as the tax cuts, we've slashed a record number of job-crushing regulations. That includes for you, and that includes tremendous numbers of environmental regulations, which stopped your businesses, but they didn't do anything, and they had no impact. If anything, they made the environment worse. But we eliminated 129 old regulations for every new one that was approved. It was supposed to be 1 in 10, and it's turning out to be 129. So for every regulation, think of that, 129, we lose them, we get rid of them. It was supposed to be 1 in 10. We would have been happy with, we did 1 in 12. We started off 1 in 7 with my last administration. We got it up to about 1 in 12. Now I see we have a 1 in 129. So we're getting rid of 129 nonsense regulations for every new one that we pass. And thanks to these pro-growth
What the fuck
policies,
is up
our
with the
economy is
ratio?
roaring and factory.
For everything that we pass, there's 129 that we got rid of. Like, who cares? How many did you pass? Did you pass like 130 different laws? That's probably still a problem then.
Construction is way up. Consumer confidence is way up. Business investment
No,
is
about
more
the
than
confidence.
triple compared to that of just a short time ago. And before I took office, nobody can believe it. And nobody can believe the $18 trillion number that we gave you because it's a record for any country, not just here, it's for any country. A lot of that had to do with November 5th, but a lot of it had to do with tariffs. We charge tariffs to companies when they come in. A couple of you were just saying to me that you're getting hurt by China and other countries making a product that's not as good, but it's less money because of the fact that there were no guards, no safeties for you, and we've changed a lot of it. Some have said you've absolutely saved our business. But
speaking of tariffs, I think that there was a video that I just saw earlier today that we could check out real quick that's all about how the tariffs actually affected us. Is this correct? Is this what I had? Or did I have the right thing? War is bad. Why are stocks up? Here we go.
On April 7th at 5:32 p.m., Donald Trump announced a ceasefire with Iran. And from this announcement, we learned two things. First, Truth Social is the single greatest invention of our generation and is totally not a useless social media platform. And second, markets don't like uncertainty, because the very next day after the announcement, the markets ripped. The S&P closed up 2.5%, the Nasdaq almost 3%, and the Dow climbed more than 1,300 points, which marked its best day in almost a year. But it didn't just stop there, because a few weeks later, stocks were back at record highs, even as the ceasefire was actively falling apart in real time. Traditional financial media was calling this a relief rally, that the markets were celebrating peace, but the truth is, that's not what this was. This was something else entirely. But to understand what actually happened, why markets can be at all-time highs when there's a war going on, you first need to understand what Wall Street looked like going into this, because there's a lot more to this story than just a relief rally. On February 28th, the U.S. and Israel launched joint airstrikes on Iran. Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei was killed. Then Iran shut down the Strait of Hormuz, and the market had its worst 5-week losing streak in nearly 4 years. The S&P was down nearly 9% by the end of March. And while your retirement account was quietly screaming, there was something else happening underneath the surface. Wall Street was beginning to panic. Hedge funds didn't just start repositioning. They were selling at the fastest pace in 13 years. And that's not a loose estimate. That's hard data. Because Goldman Sachs had a front row seat to the show. They run what's called a prime brokerage desk, which services most of the major hedge funds on Wall Street, which means they see what these hedge funds are buying, what they're selling, and just how leveraged they are. And according to Goldman's own numbers, Q1 hedge fund selling in North America was the largest since April 2020. Gross leverage was sitting over 300%, near an all-time high. And short exposure to macro ETFs like SPY and QQQ hit the highest level since the pandemic. And then on March 19th, commodity analyst Rory Johnston said this.
If you think about some kind of massive detonation in the oil market supply chain in the Middle East, and there's this shock wave that's kind of moving out, this shock is too large for the system to handle, and it will begin to creak and break the longer this goes on.
Just how many barrels per day were those disruptions, the squeeze of 2008, and how big is this in comparison?
It's bigger than anything in history. Every analyst I speak with, people again that are, I respect people that are not alarmists, people that make fun of the alarmists, they're all terrified. Let's say the East-West pipeline is maxed, there's no issues at Yanbu, the Houthis don't get involved, et cetera, et cetera. In that scenario, with the strait remaining closed, we still need to shed 15 million barrels a day of global demand. And that just means prices, $250, $300 a barrel Brent. We will hit all-time highs in that scenario on an inflation-adjusted basis, almost guaranteed. Almost by necessity.
Guys, I think Daddy Trump might be
recession is too light a term. We're talking depression.
This is crazy.
Fast forward 6 weeks later, and this might be the funniest take of the year. We'll come back to why in a second. But at this point, the sentiment on the street was pretty clear. Everyone was bearish. Then, on the evening of April 7th, Trump announced the ceasefire. And when the markets opened the next morning, it was like someone turned Jerome Powell's money printer back on. Because over 400 names in the S&P finished green, 13 stocks printed all-time highs, Brent crude dropped around 13.5%, and WTI crude fell over 16%, marking the biggest single-day decline since April 2020. But here's where the mainstream explanation for all of this starts to break. According to maritime intelligence firm Windward, who utilizes AI to cross-reference digital GPS signals with satellite radar and imagery, only 5 outbound carriers were actually detected moving through the strait by midday. This is a roughly 96% decrease in activity compared to the pre-war baseline of around 130 daily transits through the Strait of Hormuz. So something's not adding up. How can there be a relief rally based on world peace if there's actually no world peace? Which raises the question, what really moved the markets? And the answer is, a good old-fashioned short squeeze, and I can prove it. But for this to make sense, we first need to explain the underlying mechanics of a short squeeze. Because when you short a stock, you're borrowing shares from someone and selling them. You're betting the price drops so you can buy them back cheaper at a later date, return them, and profit the spread. But if the price goes up instead, you're f***ed because you still have to return those shares you borrowed, which means you have to buy them back at a higher price than you sold them at. And if the price keeps rising, your losses keep growing. And at some point, your broker may send you a margin call, which means you either add more money to your account or you close the position immediately. And when enough people get margin calls at the same time, they all have to buy back their shares. That buying pushes the price up, which triggers more margin calls, which triggers more buying, and that's a short squeeze. And on April 8th, when the macro short exposure was at the highest level since 2020, the squeeze began. But the squeeze was only the first domino to fall, because once stocks started ripping, the algorithms kicked in. And this is where the CTAs, or commodity trading advisors, enter the story.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh no! Oh yeah!
These are systematic trading firms that run on rules-based models. They don't care about news. They don't care about geopolitics. They just follow trends. When the trend is down, their algorithms say short. When the trend is up, their algorithms say long. It's mechanical trading. Goldman reported that CTAs were sitting on about a 30 billion net short position going into the ceasefire. But the second the S&P crossed certain trigger levels, these models flipped, and they didn't flip to neutral. They flipped to go long. Goldman originally estimated these CTAs would need to buy back around $40 billion of equities to exit their short positions. But the actual number ended up being $86 billion across just 5 trading sessions, which, according to Goldman's records, is a top 5 buying speed print of all time. And then there was the third domino to fall, the options market. Dealers on the other side of options trades have to stay delta neutral, which means when customers pile into calls, dealers hedge by buying the underlying stock. And Spot Gamma, a leading financial data platform, had flagged a negative gamma regime heading into the ceasefire. That's the regime where dealer hedging flips from stabilizing to pro-cyclical. Price goes up, dealers buy more, price goes up more. You get the point. So a squeeze, plus a systematic flip, plus dealer hedging. 3 dominoes, all falling one after another. That's the rally. That's what we saw. And here's the funny thing. This isn't the first time we've watched this movie. It's a very similar pattern that has played out again and again over the last decade. Because go back to December 2018, stocks had been crashing for months on fears of a rate hike. Then Jerome Powell goes on stage and says one word, patient, and the Dow explodes. It was the first time the Dow had ever gained more than 1,000 points in a single trading session. Or we can go to August 2024, when the Bank of Japan hiked rates for the first time in 17 years. The yen carry trade began to unwind, which I've made a video about. Then the Nikkei drops 12% in a day, then bounces 10% the next. These are all different catalysts, but the same mechanisms. And the reason this keeps happening is that the structure of the stock market itself has changed. 20 years ago, the market was dominated by humans. Portfolio managers reading earnings reports, analysts modeling cash flows, people making discretionary decisions about what companies were actually worth. But now, that market is basically gone. Today, 63% of all U.S. stock funds are now held by passive indexers. That's more than $13 trillion of blind money that doesn't read earnings reports or care if Apple had a good quarter. It just follows the index on autopilot. And because most passive funds are market cap weighted, the bigger a company gets, the more of it they buy, which is how the Magnificent Seven now makes up over 33% of the S&P 500. So a massive chunk of the market isn't being priced anymore. It's receiving allocation on default. And what's left of the active investing side has also changed. The hedge fund industry has consolidated into a handful of giant multi-strategy funds that dominate the industry. The Millenniums, the Citadels, and the .72s of the world. And their assets under management have grown exponentially over the last decade. These funds typically run at 4 to 8 times leverage with strict drawdown rules, which means when they hit a drawdown limit, they don't sit in a conference room and debate whether the Fed is going to cut or whether the war is really over. They sell immediately. And underneath all of this is the options market. Because now, same-day expiration options make up around 63% of all SPX trading. On peak days, we're seeing over $2 trillion of notional value change hands in a single trading session. Every one of those options forces a dealer on the other side to hedge in real time, which leads to buying or selling the underlying stock to keep their books balanced. So the dominant players in 2026 aren't analyzing valuations or fundamentals, they're reacting, and when price moves, their reactions stack on top of each other. And this is what happened on April 8th. Once you understand this, once you understand the mechanics behind why markets are irrational, everything starts to make a little more sense. So if you're tired of watching traditional financial media hand you the dumbed-down version of what's happening in markets, hit subscribe, because this is the stuff they conveniently forget to cover. Because the stock market we all used to know and love, the one about finding undervalued companies and investing in them for the long term, that stock market is gone. What's left is a giant feedback loop of algorithms, passive funds, and options dealers all reacting to each other in real time. And the headlines? Well, they're just the narratives people use to help rationalize things.
Oh, shit. You guys get all that? You get all that? You understand? You understand what's actually going on here, guys? JD Vance winning the poll right now, 35 minutes in. Double tap, hit that like button, hit subscribe if you're just joining us. And back to Daddy Trump.
Because of the use of tariffs, we have all this money. Because if they come in and build a business here, if they build their plant here, there are no tariffs. Jobless claims just hit the lowest level since 1969. And more Americans are working today than at any time in the history of our country. So we have more people working today than at any time in the history of our country. That's a beautiful. I mean, what could be better than that? You say, like somebody was saying, oh, will AI take our jobs? Well, we have a lot of AI up. They said it's going to take jobs. I said, well, you're probably right, maybe a little bit, but it's going to create a lot of jobs. And did you know that more people are working in the United States right now than ever before? They said, no, is that true, really? That's the end of that argument. And a lot of good things are happening. And leading in AI is very important because that's a tremendously big industry. And we want to be able to lead. Primarily it's China, but other countries are very much active in it also. Under the last administration, 1 in 4 new jobs was a government job. But since my inauguration, 100%, think of that, 100% of all new jobs have been in the private sector. 100%. We cut a lot of government jobs. And 2 of the 3 new jobs have been in small businesses. But I just want to say, so think of that. 100% of new jobs are in the private sector. Now, to do that, we cut tremendous numbers of governmental jobs. And I feel sorry for everyone. And it's a hard thing to do. Many of those people voted for me. But now they like me because they went out, they got private sector jobs that they like better, and it's paying them sometimes 2 and 3 times more money. So it's worked out the right way, but you have to do that. You can't just we had government jobs where you'd have 10 people doing the job of 1 person, and you can't make America great that way. So we did it the hard way, but the correct way. And the correct way, big difference, right, Cal? You see it. It's nobody's ever seen anything quite like it, and it was, especially working here, it's tough because, this is the home of federal jobs. I wouldn't say I got tremendous. I mean, we won the election in a landslide. We won all 7 swing states. We did all the things that you've heard so many times with counties, which is a big count. That's why you see the map is all red practically. When you look at it, we won 86% of the counties in the country. But here is a little bit different. But now if you look at those people, some of them have left. And by the way, speaking of that, Washington, D.C., which was very unsafe a year ago, a little more than a year ago, is now one of the safest cities in the United States. So, pretty good. So we had to cut the jobs because we were way bloated with federal jobs. And, I could, with one swipe of the pen, I could say, let's have no employment, and I'll hire 1 million people or 2 million people. I say, we just hired 1 million people, and we have absolutely no employment. And that's what they would do. They'd have bad numbers coming up, so they'd hire a couple 100,000 people, and the numbers would look okay. With me, it's the exact opposite. We terminate a lot of federal jobs that are unnecessary. And they don't like me for doing it, but a year later they like me because they end up having a much better job, oftentimes in a place where they'd much rather live. You know, they go to the place that they want to go. They're not stuck in Washington or someplace else. And they do much better. And in the end, I mean, I've had a lot of people come up, they say, I was so angry at you, but now I'm making sometimes 2 or 3 times the money in a job that I really like. So you got to do what you have to do. You have to, politically, I don't know if it's good, bad, or indifferent. I think it's probably bad, maybe politically, but in the meantime, I'm in the White House, so maybe it's good. A lot of times, you know, as you probably heard, the fake news media treats me very, very badly. 93% of the stories I get are bad. And yet I won in a landslide. How do you win all 7 swing states when you get only bad press? It's fake press. They give me fake polls. They tell me about polls and this. You know, it's interesting. I did a poll on the war with Iran, and they said only 32% of the people like it. Well, I don't like it, and I don't like war at all, but we're equipped better than it. We have the greatest military in the world. You saw what happened with Venezuela. You see what happens with everything. But they said 32% of the people are against President Trump. Well, when you explain it, like, is it okay for Iran to have a nuclear weapon? It wouldn't be 32%. But even if you said that, there'd be a 32% because the polls are fake. I mean, they're totally fake. And
which one is
when
it?
you take a look at what's really going on, the other day I made a speech in a great Florida senior citizens community, and I made another one at the Kravis Center, 2 in one day. It was wonderful. I go out and make a speech. Then I say, all right, let's go home. Sir, you're making another speech, and this one's in front of the richest people in the world. I went from an unbelievable group of seniors. Now, of course, I'm not a senior. I'm far younger than a senior. It's true. I feel the same as I felt 50 years ago. I don't know. There'll be a period of time when I don't tell you that. There'll be, because I'm honest, I'll say, it's not looking good. I have to be careful. If I said, as an example, I'm not feeling well, they put on, Donald Trump is not feeling well, because they won't know that I'm using that as just a reference point, and they'll say, listen to this. I'll say, I'm not feeling well. Well, someday I might say that to you, and you'll be the first to know. Actually, I won't have to say it, because you'll be able to see it, just like you did in the last administration. You know, one of the things I said is that we should have, in my opinion, anybody running for president or vice president should take a cognitive test. And no president has ever taken one except me. I've taken 3 of them, and I've aced each one. 1 in the first administration, 2 over here. And whenever they get a little sassy, like, does he still have it? Does he still have what it takes? I say, all right, I'll take another one. And they are hard. There are many people in this room I know that are smart. They're not going to ace them. There are many people standing back there, the fake news media, that I'd like to have them. You know, the first question is very easy, and they always show the first question is, you have a lion, a bear, an alligator, and what's another good?
Fuck?
A squirrel, okay? Which is the squirrel? So they show that question, and then the first 4 or 5 questions they get a little more difficult. By the time you get to the middle, they're tough. By the time you get to the end, I don't want to be insulting, but there won't be. I'm not going to do what Gavin Newsom said. You saw him? He said, everybody in here is stupid, and he's stupid. I think it was the worst political interview I've ever seen. He said, he's stupid, he's dumb, he gets bad marks on everything, he can't read his speech, and nobody wants to report that. It was the worst, but I won't say that because I think everyone in this room is brilliant, but nobody's going to get all 30 questions correct. Nobody. Because when you get to those last questions, they're pretty hard. You got to be pretty sharp. But every time, so I've taken 3. No president, think of this, has ever taken 1. How do you think Biden would have done? I don't think, he might not have gotten that first question right. Anyway, and Obama would have done poorly. They would have done very poorly. But I think you should have it. As soon as they said that, they say, it's unconstitutional. And I said, why? They say it's unconstitutional to give a cognitive test like that. But, Rick, I do it anytime they start getting a little sassy. And you know, it quiets them down for almost a year when they hear the result. One doctor said, it's the first time I've ever seen anyone get all questions right. That's a doctor who does this stuff for a living. and I did it 3 times. So I don't know. I think I'm done with those days. I'm tired of taking that test. You know, you sit before a group of doctors and they ask you questions. I said to Ronnie Jackson, he was original, right? First time. I said, so what do you think, Ronnie? They call me a genius who's going to destroy the country. Then they said, he's a genius who's taken over the entire world. Then they said, he's a total moron. This guy is so stupid. And then, so whenever I hear that one, I say, let's take the cognitive test. But I really think it would be a great thing if you could do that. They say it's not constitutional, but I think it would be good. And I can tell you, a lot of the people that run these small businesses, you could take the cognitive test and you could do a lot better than some of the people that we talk about. But I really believe it. I think it's so important for our country. We have to make sure we have the right people leading this country. Like, we have a war right now, and we're into, like, what, 6 weeks? They said, what's taking so long? We were in Vietnam 19 years. We're in Iraq for many years, 10 years, 12 years. We were in all these different wars. Korea, 7 years. I won't even mention World War II. That's a big baby. But you have the wrong person up here, you'll be in World War III. As sure as you're sitting there, you have the wrong person up there. It's nasty and tricky. It's tricky out there. We have to have the right people, and they have to be sharp and they have to be smart. Because one thing about your business is small businesses are great, but if you don't have the platform, meaning the country, meaning the right principles, the right everything, our country's booming now.
This whole fucking thing is about small businesses, need I remind you. This is supposed to be a speech about small businesses. Stock market performance is more important than the brokies in the country that can suffer.
Despite the fact that we're in I call it a mini war, because that's all they are. They don't have a Navy anymore. Think of it. They had 159 ships. How many do they have left, Kelly? Out of 159, take a guess. She's very smart. 0. 159 ships. In the first 2 weeks, 159 ships. I actually got very upset. I said, how quality were the ships? They were very good. I said, why didn't you just take the ship? Why do you have to send it to the bottom of the sea? We could have had, and let's say out of the 159, we could have taken 59. We would have had 59. But they'd rather blow them up than save them. I would have preferred saving them, but these are minor details. But one of the small business owners who can tell us firsthand how our tax cuts are boosting revenue is someone you may have heard, and I made mention of the fact he has been with me. I don't know, maybe he doesn't like me, or maybe he loves me. I think I'd rather be liked than loved by him, although he is a very handsome man, I would say. But he's somebody that we all know, and I think he's a fantastic guy, and he's been to so many rallies, so many speeches, and I love being able to introduce him because he's a champion, he's a winner. You know, to go on television and to make it, he made it big, but to go on television, I don't know if you know this, Rick, 5% of the shows make it, 2% of the shows make it pretty good, 1% of the shows make it. So it's very risky to do a television show and I did The Apprentice, and that was one of the great hits of a long time. But you did your show, and I've just always admired. I admire people that will go against the odds. And when you do a television show, you're going, because very, very few of them make it, and you made it big. So I'd like to have Rick Harrison come up. It's gold and silver pawn shop in Las Vegas, and you know his show very well. And say a few words, Rick. Come on up. You're looking good.
The
Thank
Pawn
you,
Star
Rick.
guy. Okay, more reality stars. All right.
Come on up.
Glad I came back, guys.
All
Pawn
right.
Star. Pawn Star man.
You know, usually I announce them at rallies, and they give you like 3 minutes notice, and I can't come up with a speech, and they've literally just told me a couple hours ago to take a little speaking. I just want to say he's amazing. He's done so much. I mean, so much for all of us. I mean, the backbone of this country is small business, plain and simple. And the last guy in office, all we heard was that we were the evil people, we were the bad people, everything else like that. We don't pay our fair share, whatever that's supposed to be. And he made it tough. And this guy, the big beautiful bill, absolutely amazing. You know what I mean? God bless you for letting me get 100% depreciation. It really helps out. And all I can say is this is literally, I mean, I'm a history buff, and I know a lot about this White House thing and everything. Literally, he's going to go down as maybe the best president ever. I love this guy.
Okay. All right. We're in the middle of a fucking war, guy. Let's go.
Wow.
It's like he
I'm
doesn't
glad we didn't
realize
tell you
he's still in
because
the middle
actually
of a
that was
fucking
much better
war,
than when you're
bro.
fully prepared.
I don't know.
When he comes
Starting
up
to
fully
get tired of
prepared.
Daddy Trump today.
No, that was great. Thank you very much. And very special guy. Thank you. Very nice.
It's like you don't
One
realize
of
he's in the middle of a
strong-
war.
And by the way, right behind me, see this? You call it a room. This is the biggest room in the White House. It's not big enough to have anything. We had the king here. We had like 102 people, and we could have had 2,000 people, literally. But this is, I call it a knockout panel. See, some people would say, oh, that's a curtain. Underneath that curtain is a window. Outside of that window is the new ballroom. So I said, I'll get out of here, and I'll let you guys, if you want to see a beautiful structure going up, complex, safe, things that could never happen like happened a week ago. That was a pretty bad situation. You can't have 1,000 units over the ballroom with an entrance right next to where you are for a lot of reasons. So if you want, we're going to open that up. I think later on you'll open it up, let the people take a look, and it would be pretty good. Not as exciting as looking at oil wells like Chris gets to do all day long, right? And speaking of that, we're doing well in Venezuela, right? It's working good? Yes, we are, Mr. President. Yeah, that was good. That war took us approximately 48 minutes. And actually...
Okay, but what about the one that took 62 days and you're still in?
And we have a great relationship. And you know what? I heard the other day that the people of Venezuela are really happy. They're seeing things happen that they haven't seen in 20 years. They're working, and there's a spirit in Venezuela that they haven't had in many, many years. And the big companies are coming in now, and they're building these giant rigs because there's a lot of oil in Venezuela, a lot of other things too, and a lot of great people. And we have people in charge that are doing a fantastic job, and they're working with you, and you are doing a fantastic job. So thank you very much, Rick. Good job. Proud of you.
People of Venezuela are very thankful for your proud and bold leadership to change the trajectory
Come here.
of their lives. No, I want to say, as you engage with the people of Venezuela and the businesses, I will tell you that President Trump is incredibly popular with the people of Venezuela. It's a nation of 30 million people going the wrong way for 25 years. And a bold leadership of this president changed the trajectory of that country, changing the futures of all those people, wanting millions of Venezuelans abroad to go back to that country. American businesses are stampeding in to invest in that country. 25 years trying everything going the wrong way. His bold leadership and creative thinking changed the game. Thank you, Mr. President.
Wow, thank you. That's good. We have a great relationship. We have hundreds of millions of barrels of oil coming out of Venezuela, going to Houston and different places to have it refined, and we're sort of, it's almost really a partnership.
Hey, Hammer, welcome
the man
back,
you
my
just
guy.
heard speaking, Chris, has been, he wasn't my choice. I had somebody else for Department of Energy, a fantastic man, Doug Burgum, and I said, I want you to head up energy. He says, no, there's one person better than me, is better than anybody. I said, who the hell is that? Chris Wright? I said, who's Chris Wright? Tell me. And he's like the #1 guy in the whole world at this subject. And I said, well, let's talk to him. I don't know. He probably makes a lot of money if he's doing that. And he was. He's taken one of the largest salary cuts in history, I'll tell you, without question. But he's done a fantastic job. These are the people we have. We have great people. And Doug is great. He was the governor of North Dakota. He ran an incredible state. He was very successful in business. He started with a small business. He sold it for $1 billion to Microsoft. And he wanted to do what Trump did. He said, I want to be a business guy, and now I want to run. I made a lot of money. I want to run. So Doug Burgum ran, and he became a great governor for 8 years. He was term limited. And I saw him at a session, a speaking session, and sort of a debating session. I thought he was great. And I said, if I win, I'm going to get that guy in. And he's now heading up. He's now the largest landlord in the world, I guess you could say, right? Department of Interior, and he's been fantastic. But he wanted Chris to be energy. So he's got all the power of the energy, but he doesn't have the land. Doug has none of the power of him, but he has the land. So I merged them. It's a friendly merger. We don't have any papers. They just get along together, right? And I think today we've announced we're drilling more oil by far than we ever have in the history of our country. More oil and gas by far. And this was just said, but this took place almost from the beginning, right? We got it started very, very early. So you're doing a great job. Doug was right. And we're also very happy with Doug because he's doing a fantastic job. Thank you very much, Chris. Appreciate it. So one of the strongest effects of our tax cuts and tariffs is the Trump manufacturing boom, is what they're calling it, because that's what we have. We have never had anything like what's happening now. And when I talk about, again, the $18 trillion, that's coming in and building places. And as we speak, American companies are ordering core capital goods for factory construction and operation expansion. And you saw the construction numbers. Now, the plants will be opening over the next period of time, pretty soon. But, you know, we just got started. And these plants are going to be opening. Right now, the big numbers, the construction jobs in the country are going through the roof. And ultimately, when the plants open, then you're going to have manufacturing jobs, because right now the plants, many of them haven't opened, but they're under construction. When you see the final numbers, you're not going to even believe what you are seeing, because there's never been any construction boom of factories like we have right now. We lost our car industry. We lost 54% of our car industry to Canada, Mexico, Germany, Japan, South Korea, other countries. 54% over the years, over a period of probably 30, 35 years. And they're all coming back. They're all coming back. And they're coming back at levels that has never been seen before.
Guys.
Pretty amazing. Well, you see, you'll see it. It can't be disguised by
you'll see.
our friends.
You'll see. You'll see.
I don't know.
All right, I would like to fucking see. Let's
smiling
go.
and
It's hoping you'd be done with the Iran war, guy.
Probably like
you're
us.
not.
I think their bosses
you're not
say,
done with the Iran war.
Treat Trump as
My
badly
guy.
as you possibly can. But they had so many good faces,
know.
and so many. They are a lot of professionals there. But it's the highest rate in over 4 decades, and under 4 years of the Biden administration, real wages for manufacturing workers fell. It fell $840. Under 1 year of Trump, wages for factory workers, manufacturing factory workers, increased by $2,500. So think of that. Under Biden, it fell $840, and under Trump, it went up $2,500. That's quite a difference. And as I said, you haven't seen the real effect, because these factories are being built right now. When they open, you're going to see numbers that are much greater than that. And a lot of these government workers, good people, and, you know, I don't blame them for liking what they had, but they're going to all be in this system, and they're going to be making double and triple what they were making in government. We have a country again, because you can't have a country that works where you have literally 10 people to do one job. You can't have it. You can't have a great country. Earlier this year, I visited Costa Steel in Rome, Georgia. Before I took office, China and other countries were taking more of our industry all the time, just more and more. And Costa was hit very hard. Their core business dropped from 2 shifts to 6 days a week. And the 2 shifts were during my administration, by the way. But now is down to and then ultimately is down to 1 shift, operating 3 days, and it was going down to 1 day, and they expected to go out of business. There was no stopping it. And now, thanks to the tax cuts and the steel tariffs that I put on, Costa is thriving like never before. I just heard from them, and they're at now full shifts, 2 full shifts, 6 days a week, and they may go to a 3rd shift, round the clock. Think of that, round the clock. They've never had that before, and they've have a backlog of 7 months long of things
I've never
that they're
seen
building.
Trump
Steel products,
feel
great.
so boring.
And they said, I was with the gentleman that owns the company. He thought he was going out of business, and now he said, now I have a great business in just a period of literally a year and a half. It's we thought we couldn't stop
way.
it. And he said, all of my friends
None
up
of
and
the
down the
above.
line, they have different businesses, factories, big businesses, but they all thought they were going out of business, and now they're all doing better than they've ever done before. And they've gone from employing, in this case, COSA, 50 people to 125 people, and the 50 people is going down to about 14 or 15, and now they're at 125, and they're looking for additional people to work. And I want to thank their president, Andrew Seville, who I think maybe is here. Andrew, are you here someplace? Where are you, Andrew? Wow. You want to say something? Come on up here. He's so
Want to
God-
praise
he just-
me? Come on up
He really
here.
understood what was happening, and I think it would be nice. You weren't supposed to speak, so I hope you're not nervous. Come here.
No, you make it easy.
Thank you very much.
The most thing that took us right to the top was your tariffs. And I think everybody in here that runs a small business, the tariffs had an effect on you one way or another, and that is just taking us, all the jobs that were going to China, you brought them back, and it really took us to the next level. And
Even though
we
we
were
bowed out.
honored to have you come down to our company. So thank you for having me back here. I wasn't prepared to speak, so I'm going to get off the stage. Thank you, Mr. President.
You guys do better with no speech. You do better when you don't know you speak. You know what? It's a little truth to that, Rick. Sometimes you don't think you're going to introduce somebody. You know they're in the audience, but they don't know, and they end up doing better because they speak from the heart. They have no choice. They can't think about all night long, what am I going to say? And then you get up and you bore the place. No, it's very good. You speak from the heart, and that's true. Tariffs were a very big part. We had an unfortunate ruling out of the Supreme Court.
Who then?
But the good news is I'm
Afroman?
able to do it a different way. They said use the other
Afroman
way.
was
There was
one
no
of the
reason
top
for that. It was
third-party here so
terrible,
far.
actually terrible. But
So true.
it'll have no impact other than I hate to pay people back tariffs, $159 billion. I have to pay them back when a little half sentence, any money taken in to this point does not have to be paid back. We would have saved $159 billion, and I cannot figure it out. How could anybody do that? But they did it. We have other ways of tariffing. As you know, we're already doing it. And actually, they're more tested, they're stronger, a little bit more complex. I like to keep it as simple as possible. And in many ways, they'll be better. It'll be better. I just want you not to think that because of that decision, we don't do, the tariffs will actually be higher. It's turning out they're going to end up being higher. But it's made our country rich, really rich. And it's like Andrew said, I mean, without them, there would be nothing we could do to save your country. Nothing. It's the greatest word. Remember, I used to say it's my favorite word in the dictionary, the word tariff. And then the fake news got on me. They said, well, what about God? What about your wife? What about your family? What about... So they were just killing me because I said it's my favorite word. I said, all right, it's my fifth favorite word. I put... So it's my fifth favorite word. But because of tariffs and, the proper use of tariffs, so you have to use them in a certain way. But, we've been ripped off in this. I've been talking about it for years. We've been ripped off in this country for decades. We lost our car industry. Think of it. There's a person here making utensils, beautiful forks and knives and things. Where is that person? Where's around here? So, and he was telling me, he said, China's coming in and they're ripping us. And we have a tariff, it's 25%, but it's not enough because, they have certain advantages that you're not going to have. But the advantage you have is you have a higher quality product. And I'm going to be able to take care of that very easily, just by putting it up. You'll be treated fairly. It's just really tough. And it's amazing you've done as well as you've done. But you did that because of the quality of your product. We have such quality. North Carolina, if you take a look, I'm going to put tremendous tariffs on. That process has already started. It takes me longer now because of the Supreme Court decision. I have to go through a process. It's ridiculous. But we don't like it. We like to do what's right and get it done instead of having to do a report which is going to come out and say the exact same thing that everyone knows. But you can tell the people in North Carolina that we used to have a great furniture business. I built a lot of hotels and a lot of different buildings where I need furniture. I would go to North Carolina. These were great artists. And China essentially put them out of business because We didn't have a president that was willing to do it. Happened before my term. They've been out of business for a long. I used to go down there and see these people. They were artists with wood. I'd say, I'd like to make the handle a little bit slimmer. Ding, 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 ding. It was like magic. And we lost that whole thing. You can see it's coming back because we're putting tariffs on furniture where you'll be able to more than compete. We have to protect our businesses. Same thing with you in the utensil business. Your stuff is so beautiful, but it's very tough when you're competing against something that is cheap and, because of the lack of protection that you've been given, it just puts you out of business. So you actually said thank you for the tariffs, but the tariffs really aren't high enough, in my opinion, in that particular thing. But with the furniture, we're going to bring all the furniture back to North Carolina, and you're going to see it'll be as robust as it was 25, 30 years ago. The greatest furniture people in the world, and they got stolen. They really didn't take them. They found people in China that could do it, and all those people got put out of jobs, and their kids have that same ability. And you watch what happens, how good it is in North Carolina, because I've had to go through a process to get that approved, but now it's approved, and you're going to be, again, the furniture capital of the world, because nobody can do that quality. And I know the quality. I buy a lot of things from China, and because I was forced to. When I was in the hotel business, I was forced to buy from China because of pricing, and because of for other reasons. What I wasn't getting was the...
What are the other reasons? What are the other reasons?
The kind of quality that we were getting here, and now you'll have a combination of both, so you can let that be known. I don't know if that's breaking news or not for these people, but to me it's very important. I've been wanting to do it for a long time, and now
I don't know if you all want to write an article about me today, but here we go.
So, and we love
Write
North
another
Carolina.
article
My
about Donald
administration's
Trump.
also
Yay,
committed to
Donald
ensuring
Trump did a
that
thing.
American small businesses have access to the credit and capital that they need under Administrator Loeffler, who's phenomenal. She is phenomenal.
You're phenomenal. You're phenomenal.
And she's got a great husband, Jeff, and he's a friend of mine, and he's a very successful man, and he's a great
Fucking
man.
Jeff. Fuck
He's
Jeff.
got a great wife, and
Jeff's
I was
gotta
so
be
happy
crazy as fuck.
getting her in this position. She replaced a woman who is a very legendary woman, Linda McMahon, who's now at Education. She's doing a great job. She's moving education back to the States where it belongs. And Kelly
Back
is
to
doing
the
great.
States where it belongs.
But last year, Kelly, our Small Business Administration issued $7 billion in loans to 11,000 new startups, as well as $1.3 billion in loans to 3,000 veteran-owned small businesses, and $3.2 billion. They're a big business,
Are we an hour in yet? Guys? An hour into our poll, and there it is, 123 votes in. J.D. Vance and Gavin Newsom attend the poll again. All right. So here we are. So to the poll. Who will be president in 2028? Day 21 of poll. Will be J.D. Vance with 18 wins. Will be Gavin Newsom with 2 wins. Or will it be Olivia Rodrigo? That's what we're doing today. I don't give a shit. Or will it be Olivia Rodrigo? Back to Donald Trump.
That's why I say, how can we call it small business? $3.2 billion to American manufacturers, helping restore those beautiful words, made in the USA, where we're using
Made
more and more.
in
We have things
America.
being made here that nobody thought it was even possible
In
for
America.
it to come back. Like you'll see in North Carolina with the furniture. It'll come
Made
back
in America.
very, very rapidly. So, Kelly, I'd like to ask you to say a few words, please.
Kelly. Get up here, Kelly. Hi, I love Donald Trump.
Thank you, Mr. President.
No,
First of all,
I
you are
love
the
Donald
most
Trump.
pro-growth, pro-small business
No,
president in
I
American
love Donald
history.
Trump.
Thank
No.
you.
No, I love, you know what I love? I
It's
love
such an honor
Donald
to join
Trump.
you here at the White House
No.
to recognize National Small Business Week, and you're the greatest commander-in-chief ever. but
Best
also one
ever.
of America's greatest businessmen, and small businesses know that. They see that this administration is shifting power and capital from fraudsters and Washington bureaucrats back to Main Street job creators, just like we
No
have gathered in this
way.
room today. Fair trade,
Unbelievable.
deregulation, and the working family tax cuts in the One Big Beautiful Bill. They are powering real opportunity that I see all over as I travel this country.
What?
Especially after 4 crushing years of Bidenomics and decades of shipping our jobs and our industries overseas, hollowing out our local communities. That is ending. As I travel the country each week, and Mr. President, I've traveled with you from Iowa.
There's a war going on, y'all. Need I remind you, there is a literal war going on right now.
Georgia's Coosa Steel Factory. America First policies are restoring the American dream on Main Street to new heights. At generational businesses like Jimmy's Famous Seafood, at industrial innovators like Prince Manufacturing in Georgia and Blue Patriot in Nebraska, who are building big, beautiful new buildings thanks to the
Big
working family
crocks
tax
of
cuts.
shit for your
Today,
turd
98%
sandwich.
of U.S. manufacturers are small businesses. They're a critical part of securing our supply chains.
7%
and
of it.
while they contribute
7% of your butthole is actually made of my turd sandwich.
to national strength across all kinds of industries,
She got the word energy and industry confused, y'all.
from energy to agriculture to defense and aerospace.
Donald Trump's like, don't fuck it up again. You fuck it up again, and I send you away forever.
America's big manufacturers rely on these producers and their skilled workers. And that's why President Trump's economic agenda means Made in America is coming back, and it's coming back fast.
Made in the USA.
Now, at the Trump SBA, we're helping to fuel that growth as the most free enterprise agency in the federal government. In 2025
Trump needs his
alone,
ballroom?
we
Facts.
guaranteed a record $45
Give the daddy
billion
his ballroom.
in lending to 85,000 small
Give it to
businesses
him.
through local banks. That's an all-time record at the SBA, and we did it with 53% fewer staff at the agency.
I hate when they do the percentages thing because it's like, was there 7 people working there? Was there 7 people working there and they got rid of 3 of them? And they're like, we did it with 50% less. Was there 7 of you? How many? How many people were fired?
That capital is driving the job creation that you see.
70% of 18% of 700% of 5% is exactly what we did. Yay! The fuck's that mean? The fuck does that mean?
Record small business formation. This year, record small business formation.
No way, another record?
And
They broke
growth
another
in
record,
communities
guys.
all across America.
Broke
It's
another
such
record.
an honor to highlight the award winners that are here today
Award
and
winners.
the
They
vital
won
role
awards,
of
too.
hardworking small businesses that do their jobs every single day.
You won an award. Congratulations, you won an award.
They are America's backbone. From
No, you didn't make any money, but you won an award.
our farms and restaurants to our construction companies and our manufacturers and our trucking companies. Thank you, Mr. President, for recognizing that small business is big business. 250
Lady, shut up. You're talking more than the man, and you're a lady.
years ago, our founding fathers were also entrepreneurs.
Look at him. He's like, why did I let the woman speak? Why did I do it?
Small businessmen. With the America First agenda, that legacy continues. America is open for business
Who the
again.
fuck is opening
Thank
a
you,
business in this economy? Somalians. Somalians. Lots and lots of Somalians, y'all.
Mr. President.
Somalians and Hasidic Jews. That's who. People with families of 15.
That's a great job. I just want to sort of end by, I'll give you a little common sense business. So a lot of you run your business for a couple of reasons: talent, brilliance in many cases, but also common sense. And I'll give you just one little anecdote. We have a beautiful, potentially beautiful, built in 1922, it's a long time ago, reflecting pond in between the Washington Monument and the Lincoln Memorial. It's 2,500 feet long. That's taller than, I think, any building in the world. That would be if you lay it sideways. It's 2 Empire State Buildings, more than that, and very wide, 167 feet. And for years they've wanted to fix it, rebuild it. It's granite. The stone is good. Granite's great, but it was leaking because it's little pieces of granite. Very, very expensive when they did it, but it always leaked from the day they built it. In think of that, 1922, and it leaked badly, and they've looked at fixing it for decades, really fixing it, and it wasn't working. It was too expensive, and the final price we got fairly recently was to fix it as $350 million, because they were going to take the granite out and they were going to replace it with new granite, new stone, tighter joints, all that. It was going to take 3.5 years, and I heard about it, and I called Doug Burgum, and I said, Doug, what do you think? I built a lot of swimming pools, hundreds of swimming pools in different jobs. I said, let me look at that surface. So it's granite, so granite is virtually indestructible, but it was filthy dirty. It started because I called, because it was so dirty, it was disgusting. People called me and they'd say, you know, it's a shame. I'm looking at the Washington Monument and this thing is terrible. The water is dirty. There's cartons of stuff in it and everything is just so horrible. And I said, wow, that's terrible. We can't have that.
Bro's literally putting me to sleep with his anecdote about, like, explaining, I don't even know what the fuck. Something about a pond and fixing the pond. What are we doing here? I thought he was going to say something interesting about business. This is fucking deranged.
I actually had Secret Service. They said, drive over there. I want to see it. Sir, we won't be able to do it. I said, just do it. And when it was terrible, I looked at it terrible. So think of that. So it's going to cost $350 million. Because we're going to take the granite out, put new granite, and think, you know, consider it like as tall as the tallest building in the world, if not taller. Okay. And laying on its side. And I said, wow, that's terrible. $350 million. It's going to take 3.5 years. 3.5 years it'll be at, and you know 3.5 years means 5 years. $350 million means $500 million to fix a thing. And I said, you know, I built all these swimming pools, and they're phenomenal. They're 20 years. I have one up the road where it's a great club on the Potomac River, and I bought it, I'll bet 21 years ago, and I built a beautiful Olympic-sized pool. And I asked the other day, I said, how good is the pool? Oh, it's beautiful, sir. I looked at it. It looks like it's brand new. It was done 20 years ago. So I have some very good contractors, some good, one or two in particular. And I sent the the 3 best. I said, do me a favor, fellas. Go take a look at the reflecting pool that sits in between Lincoln and Washington, the beautiful, what should be beautiful reflecting pool. And one of them who came back, who's really, I would say, the best, but they're all good. He came back, he said, what an exciting job, sir. I said, so how long would it take you to redo it? He said, well, we have a week, and let's say it'll take me to put the new material. Now, the swimming pool is good, but he said, sir, I'd get commercial grade. What is that? He said, that's much stronger, much heavier, meant for commercial. It actually looks better. It's more expensive, sir. I said, that's okay. I said, how much will it cost? I think we can do it for about $1.9 million. So he said, what color would you like, sir? And I said, well, you know that beautiful color that we have in Florida? He said, this is in Florida, sir. We don't have that green-blue around here. We have blue water. But he gave me a choice of 50 colors. Now I'm going crazy. I'm saying, now think of it. If we put the granite, you know what your color is? It was gray. It was gray. Not a good-looking color. So even if you did it, it's not good. So he said, we'll do a beautiful job. I think that I'd like to recommend a color that I've used before. It's beautiful. What's it called? It's called American Flag Blue. I said, that's the color I want. Because how can you have it better, right? I said, how can you have a better color than American flag? We had a gray, disgusting, dirty. It showed all the dirt. It showed all the everything. So we finished it about 2-3 days ago. They ripped the hell, they roughened the surface. They left everything there. The demolition would have cost $60 million to take the stone out and put new stone in. So we cleaned it, we steam cleaned it, we sand blasted it, we pebble blasted. You know what pebble blasting? That's a serious sand blast. That's really, because it's granite, it's so strong. We roughened the stone so it's a good surface, got it immaculate, and it's beautiful. But it still has the lines in between it. You're going to have leaks all over the place. And we filled in some areas. And the work started a few days ago. And I wanted to go today. I said, let me see these small business people. And then I want to go over and see the contractors to see how they're doing. But Secret Service was not thrilled. They were not thrilled at me standing in the middle of a pool with lots of buildings looking down. We have to be a little conscious of that, right? Chris, you'll have a new boss someday. And I don't know if you'd like that. So here's the story, just in a nutshell.
It's like the same joke. It's the same jokes as the same shit every fucking day. And it's like, we're 60 days in. We're past the 60 days now. We're now into a new week. They're shooting each other. He's sitting here dicking around doing the same jokes he's always done. I'm over it. Like, we need something new, or these anti-Israel people are starting to become right. That's all I got to say. Babbling idiot. Pretty much today he is.
1.9 million.
Big L on the Trump daddy today. Big
1
L.
week. Because I don't call actually the Parks Department did a great job. They cleaned, they had a lot of men cleaning. They're scrubbing the scum off years and years of decay and bacteria and everything else you can think. It was terrible, actually. It was worse than the people would tell me. They say how bad it looked. It was much worse. The Parks Department did a fantastic job. They got it down to the surface, and these guys came in and made the surface really, really good. And now the fun starts, and they're putting it down. So, ready? 1.9 million versus $350 million. All right? Common sense. Common sense. A great, beautiful blue color, American flag blue, as opposed to gray. Right? Water's not gray, but it's one of those things. And instead of 3.5 years, it's 1 week. So think of that. 1 week. Don't everybody say, well,
fall apart.
You can't compare this. Yeah, you can't. It's much better. It's a much better job. This will last for at least 50 years, and you'll never have a leak. It's very strong. You couldn't, if you had a knife, I don't want to give anybody ideas. If you had a knife, you can't even cut it. So strong, so powerful. It's like powerful rubber. It is beautiful, sealed. And I looked at just one of the little pieces that they did to finish. It's like a piece of glass. Beautiful color, beautiful everything. You could never get anything like that. And just think of it. So for a tiny fraction of the cost and a tiny fraction of the time, we end up with the most beautiful thing that you'll ever see. And I look so forward to that opening up. And it's sort of a business thing. It's a common sense thing. First thing I thought of when I heard $350 million, because I'm the one that said, let's get it done. But they had done studies for years because they wanted to get it done. Never got done. Probably so expensive they couldn't afford to do it, really. But there's a thing, common sense, right? Swimming pool. I said, well, swimming pool looks so beautiful. Wouldn't that be nice? So for a tiny fraction of the time, a tiny fraction of the cost, we end up with a much better product. And this is what you people do with small businesses all the time. It's what Kelly does in running this. She comes to me a lot of times with
it's not even a good
ideas
anecdote.
For less money. It's a better job. So I thought I'd tell you that because this just happened.
Oh, you
this
thought
just
you'd tell
happened.
us?
If you go down,
Thanks.
if you'd like to see them doing it, on your way back home, take a trip down to the...
Bro, first he's like, take a look behind this curtain and look at the ballroom I'm building. Now he's like, take a gander down the road and look at the water we cleaned out. Like, what are you, the fucking comptroller of D.C.?
reflecting
The
pond.
fuck is
or
going
They
on?
call it the reflecting pool.
You're in the
Some
middle of a
people call it
war,
the reflecting
sir.
lake, but the word
There's a
reflecting
war
is always
going
a part
on,
of it.
sir.
They call it different things, but reflecting
Fucking
is always
nuts.
a part. Last but not least, we have someone who is helping us lead the revival in American manufacturing, this year's National Small Business Person of the Year. I want to hire him. How big is this business? I want to get him. Mark LaMancha. And he's a fantastic guy, and he's the owner of Hometown Products, a metal casting and 3D printing company near Youngstown, Ohio. I hear it's amazing what he's done. In 2008, the company was nearing bankruptcy. It looked like it couldn't be saved, but that's when Mark patented a system.
He started making 3D dicks. Did the guy start making 3D dicks?
To boost productivity at the company by more than 400%. Mark would like to use you in government. How would you? If you could use that system in government, that would be very nice. He transformed Hometown into a pioneer in 3D printing, and he's leading everybody. And today, they're North America's leading producer of 3D printed sand cores and molds, which is a big business. And Mark, we're here to honor you today, and if you could come up, we're going to give you a little something. Come on up. Hey, Mark.
Oh, something from Melania. Oh, that's when you know that you've really done well.
Thank you very much.
Melania had to hand it to Trump. Oh no, this lady's not even. That's not even Melania.
I want to get one of them for myself. I'll honor myself.
Here is your penis, sir. You have won a penis prize. Congratulations on your penis prize.
Go ahead, I'll hold it for you.
I just want to say how much I love Donald Trump and I love this giant penis prize.
Mr. President and Administrator Loeffler, I would like to thank you for the opportunity and the privilege to represent the 36 million small business people, to be an ambassador.
Oh, this bro practiced the speech. This bro thought he was gonna speak no matter what. He thought it was gonna be like this casual ass thing, but this guy was practicing this shit in the fucking mirror.
Or the largest part of our economy. And I would like to thank you from the Hometown Products Industrial Athletes team that I have the privilege of serving every day as their head coach. But even more, I would like to thank you, Mr. President, for restarting and rebooting our economy. And manufacturing used to be 38% of our economy, and it's down to 9%. And I know that you love America, and I know that you want to restart that. You know, in the last 3 months, the PMI index has gone up 3 months in a row because of that restart. We have 10% increase in hiring, and we'll be able to buy more of those $1 million printers that we're able to print the...
Okay, so you came in and we're only 9% manufacturing. You want to make it more percent manufacturing. Have we done that yet? No. Have you been in here for a year? Yes. What have we done instead? We've hired 10% more people because we believe that Daddy Trump will give us jobs eventually. Yikes.
Fight, fight, fight. Trump statue that was in Butler with Corey.
Oh, okay. So he made money off of the statue of the man being shot. Okay. Gets weirder. Gets weirder.
So I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for loving America.
Candace Owens going to have a field day with that one.
Manufacturing is my favorite sport, so let's make America manufacture again.
What the fuck? Bro. His kids are like, Dad, why did you have to do it?
I heard it's a great company. You've done a fantastic job with it. Thank you very much. And you're right. We lost our manufacturing business. And I used to listen to President Obama say, you'll never get manufacturing back. It's the biggest business in the world if you get it back. And we're heading to that. I think we'll be higher than at any time, fairly soon. When these places open, I think we'll be higher than at any time in the history of our country. And we used to be a manufacturing capital. We were the manufacturing capital of the world, and then it got taken away. The ships went to Taiwan, and all they had to do is say, if you sell your product back into the country, there's going to be 100% tariff, and nobody would have left. And, you know, I made a investment, Intel, chip maker, the biggest in the world, and then it got taken away because of bad politics, actually, because the politicians, the presidents, no president protected that industry. So all of a sudden you have this superpower over in Taiwan, but they're coming back. As you know, we have the biggest companies coming into, they're pouring into this country. They know that the tariffs go to a certain extent, and then they go up as we go. But I will say that it's so sad to see what's happened, but it makes me so happy to say we're bringing it back. And as sure as you're sitting there, I mean, these are companies that are fully committed. There are many under construction. They're on their way. And when I look at what happened to our country, I used to make speeches as a private person. I always loved politics, but I never thought I'd be doing this. But as a private person doing well, I used to just marvel at the fact that the car companies were leaving Detroit and leaving our country at levels that were just, I mean, I said, you're not going to have any cars soon if you don't do something. And all they had to do is say, you can leave our country, you can have lots of fun building your cars, but if you think you're going to sell it back into our country for no cost, you're wrong. But nobody said that. Not one president, even presidents I liked, but they were bad on trade. You've never had a good president on trade, and now you do, and we're bringing them back at levels never seen before. So we're going to have something. And as far as small business is concerned, you are really the driver. I love that story because that's the kind of story that half of the people, I'm not sure about all of them, I'm not sure about Rick, but most of the people in this room would have thought of that. They would have said, well, what about surfacing that stone, that existing stone? But it's just, you know, one example. It's such a great one because it's massive amounts of money and time and a disaster of construction for years. They'll be building and building and building, a mess. What common sense is all about. And you people more than anything, I know you all.
An hour and 10 minutes and didn't say a damn thing about the war. He's just like fucking babbling about small business for an hour and a half. It's wild.
Indirectly.
It's wild,
if I don't know you, I
on
still
a Monday.
know you. But the fact
While
is,
they're shooting each other.
It's common sense. And if you didn't have common sense, you would not have a good business, and you wouldn't have a good small business, big business, or any other business. So
Big L.
I just want to congratulate Mark. I want to congratulate. It's a great tribute, really. You've done an amazing job. But I want to congratulate everybody in the room. You're fantastic people. And we are
Do we really get
really
to hear
this
this?
is the
It's
golden
almost
age of
over.
America. I really
It is
believe
making
it.
my
Last
ears
year we
bleed.
were scoffed at.
A little bit.
I tell the
Just a little
story
bit.
often that the king of Saudi Arabia a year and a half ago when I was over there, he said, you know, America was a dead country.
God
we didn't
damn,
think
how
we'd
many
be investing.
fucking times
We
this
didn't
guy
think it would be
motherfucker had to say
appropriate to
this?
invest there. We were a dead
Shut
country.
up. Shut up. I'm dismissing Daddy Trump tonight. That is so sad, but he is out of line tonight, guys. He's out of line tonight. J.D. Vance, 53%. Gavin Newsom, 40%. Olivia Rodrigo, 7%. 45 votes in. 24 minutes into the poll of the night. I wonder what that does that look like. Oh, okay. Cool. All right, so that does work that way. All right. Auto. I don't even know what that means. All right. Anyway, guys, back at it. Let's go now. Let's check out a little bit of Rumble real quick. See if we can get any kind of interesting news going on here. Levin on Trump.
Every day, your data is being tracked, collected, and sold, often without you even realizing it.
Welcome back, America. You know, I've been involved in the conservative movement my entire life, whether it's the Tea Party, Convention of States, the Reagan Revolution, and now the Trump Revolution. Back in 2015 was the first time I met President Trump.
This guy is such a fucking dork. And now they why are they putting this guy in the limelight? He's such a fucking dork.
He wasn't president then, obviously. But he flew to Washington, D.C. to attend a massive rally, thousands and thousands of Tea Party activists, Tea Party Patriots event. And what were we doing on the Capitol grounds? Having a picnic? No. Protesting against the Obama deal, urging Congress to block it. That would be the Obama nuclear deal. The president's always been against it. I have. Conservatives have.
Valid point.
I just wanted to...
Valid point. Valid point. Sure. Valid point. MTG.
Right, if you want to win
MAGA's
real
dead,
cash
we're moving
prizes
past
from
Donald
home,
Trump.
and you need to check out McLuck Social.
They're moving past
And then the solution after that is how to fund these people and how to get them elected. And that's what we're looking at. MAGA is dead. We're moving past Donald Trump. And the quicker we move past him, the faster we get to the whiteboard, the faster we build the solutions, the quicker we're ahead of everybody else on the way to saving the country.
Whoa, at the Ron Paul Institute? Okay. I can be vibes. on that. Mandani, Mr.
I've made very
Mandani.
clear that our laws leave
standing
nothing,
in front
no
of a
room for
fridge.
interpretation about the fact that our NYPD will not participate in civil immigration enforcement. And I've also been very clear about my views.
What a fucking dork. What a dork. He's like, I will not tell people on ICE and stuff. We will not help ICE. We are Leonardo DiCaprio.
On ICE raids as a whole. I think that they are cruel. I think that they are inhumane. I've seen some of the videos from the incident that is incredibly disturbing.
Everybody sucks today. Why is everybody sucking today? MTG back at it. President Trump
That's why
texted
there
me.
is no diabetes in Israel. If you are a Christian and don't know that the
Think about that. But I was a traitor doing what we promised to do. I was the traitor. But no one defended me, not one person. And I said, oh my goodness.
You quit, you dumb bitch.
How can I continue to serve?
You fucking quit, you dumb bitch.
Serve under this president and serve in a body of Congress where not a single person is willing to say, Mr. President, Marjorie's not a traitor. She helped you get elected. But then guess what happened? I started getting death threats. And it was about me being called a traitor. It was, you're a traitor. You deserve to die. You're a traitor.
Oh, so quit, right?
We're going to kill you.
That's
You're a
probably better,
traitor.
right? Yeah, you probably
But
should
it
just
was
quit
the
then.
one that came in and they kept coming.
It was just this one that came in and it really hurt my feelings and I couldn't do it anymore. I know I have constituents and I'm supposed to stand here and stand up to everyone and I'm free speech first and everything and I'm standing at the Ron Paul Institute saying this, but it was just, this one was really mean. They called me fat like 2 times.
On my son.
Oh, they said something about my son. That's why I had to quit Congress, so I could get paid at Ron Paul Institute.
My youngest, my baby boy. We're going to snuff out his life. We're going to put a bullet in his head.
No!
Marjorie Trader Green.
Whoa! Yeah, I get it then. If I would have seen some crazy random Instagram message from nobody saying that about my kid, I would like cave too and be the weakest link and quit at Congress. Yeah, it's so scary getting a random Instagram message from a private profile that says, I don't like you.
So I sent those to the president. Texted him directly. I also sent him to Susie Wiles and James Blair.
And Trump wouldn't endorse
And I
her,
also
period.
sent him
Exactly.
to the Vice President, J.D. Vance, Kash Patel.
He's like, look at these, guys. Look at these. Burn this switch. And these 3 men were like, all right, Karen, chill out. And she was like, no! No, I will not. I am MTG. Watch, that's what's going to happen here.
I sent him to all these people. I got no response from Susie Wiles. None. And she's a mother and a grandmother and a woman. I got no response from James Blair because he only cares about making money on campaigns.
Whoa.
I did hear from Kash Patel.
Okay.
He said on it, but I haven't heard from him since.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's on.
Oh my God, we're all insane. We're all insane. This isn't funny.
J.D.
You
Vance
all
was
are
very nice to me,
stupid.
compassionate and kind, and reassured me that he would do everything we could to find out what's going on. And then I heard back from Donald Trump.
And Donald Trump said, shut up, you dumb bitch. Go in the corner. And I couldn't handle it.
I've saved these text messages. I'd probably get put in jail if I released them publicly, but I saved them. Where Donald Trump proceeded...
Yeah, Donald Trump's like, fuck it, bitch, get out! J.D. Vance like the JD Vance like the ex-girlfriend when you yell when you're in the middle of a fight. Be like, I'm sorry that everything went so horribly wrong. I'm not trying to choose sides here. I'm just trying to be a good guy. And Donald Trump is like, bitch, leave. You need to get the fuck out, you fucking weirdo.
I need you to tell me that it was my fault.
Yeah? What's fault?
And that I deserve it.
Okay, you
if
deserve
my
what?
son gets killed, I deserve it.
Maybe you do.
Because I was a traitor to him.
Well, maybe you shouldn't be a
That
traitor.
is our president of the United States. That's the man that says MAGA is whatever.
Why are we like, oh, wow, oh, I'm so shocked Donald Trump is Donald Trump? Like, what the fuck, lady? You didn't know who Donald Trump was?
Or he wants it
Please.
to be.
Please, you sounded like Liz
That's
Cheney
the man
right now.
that, think about it,
Sounded
so
like
many
Liz
Americans
fucking
turn to because they
Cheney.
were failed by the Democrat Party and failed by the Republican Party.
Look, guys, it's the other side of Liz Cheney's face.
It's the man that we elected to change
Look,
everything.
guys, it's Liz Cheney all over again.
Well, he certainly
All right.
changed everything for me. And I'll tell you, not only was it Donald Trump that changed everything for me,
Are you going to run for
it
president,
was
too?
serving in Congress
Oh, yeah?
in the Republican Party that changed everything for me.
Yeah, it did. That's why you're speaking at the Ron Paul Institute getting a speaking fee.
It was seeing on the inside what a bunch of liars they all are.
Yeah, you're a fucking liar. Shut the fuck up, you dumb bitch. Anyway. White House suspect fired a shot. Okay, so
Holy moly.
shooting
My
up the
husband thought
White
I was
House again,
crazy when I
guys.
started
Shooting up the
drinking
White
Diet
House.
soda every morning.
NBD.
3:30. This
3:30.
afternoon, our plainclothes officers and agents that consistently patrol the outer perimeter of the White House complex identified a suspicious individual that appeared to have a firearm. They called in support from our marked uniformed Secret Service police to make contact with that individual.
Should we go back for a
Upon
run home?
making contact, that individual fled briefly on foot, withdrew a firearm, and fired in the direction of our agents and officers.
Okay.
They returned fire and engaged.
Okay.
That individual was hit. He's since been transported to the hospital. I have no comments on his condition. I can tell you that at least one, we believe only one bystander was hit by the suspect. That individual, it's a juvenile, did not sustain any life-threatening
Oh,
injuries,
thank
but is
God.
also receiving treatment at the hospital.
Jesus Christ. Fucking wackos. Some fucking wacko in D.C. running around being a fucking wacko. Oh, God. All right. It looks like that's all she wrote for those guys. Is that all we got, really? This is all... Yeah, it's all Sunday bullshit. Okay, so then we got to go to... What do we got? 34 minutes ago? That's it? It was only 34 minutes ago? J.D. Vance, 55% of the vote, y'all. All right, here we go. Next up, we got an interview with Yuri, Sean Ryan, and
These
the,
guys are
and the
all-
Young Turks are on it for each other. Here we go. First clip.
They're all prostitutes, all of our politicians.
Uh-oh, all
And so
prostitutes.
the job, and mainstream media,
I won't even do it. I refuse to do it because I feel like I'm giving a large portion of the problem the time of day and making them relevant by
Yep,
appearing.
uh-huh.
Because
Mm-hmm.
our
'Cause
shows
they're
get
the
more
issue.
numbers than
Yeah.
theirs do.
And your show is the
so
reason
I
that we're
don't
here.
want them to be able to utilize. I want
Exactly.
them to go down. I don't want to be on there. I don't want to give them.
Exactly. That's kind of the thing. It's like, even with me, it's like any streamer, any podcast host, any of these people, like, if you go to the mainstream media, then you're essentially like saying like they have some sort of authority. They don't. It's time for them to go down. It's time for us to become the authority. It's a nonsense argument.
The time of day. I don't want to bring my audience over there. I think they are a huge portion of what the
Yep.
fucking problem is.
Facts on that one. All right, let's jump in. Las Vegas cybersecurity cover-up.
Like going after little girls on the internet. Caught him.
Sean,
sent him back with no repercussions.
it's a little worse than that. Here's why it's a little worse. They catch him in a ring with he's part of 9 guys. The other 8 are Americans. Those Americans have to face consequences because they're pedophiles. So significant, serious consequences, okay, in the justice system.
Crazy.
The Israeli is working with us in cybersecurity. He's one of their top cybersecurity officials. First of all, a real American has to win the next presidential election. We should not be having Israel anywhere near our cybersecurity.
Right.
Okay, we'll come back to that too.
Right.
So, but this cybersecurity official comes here for sexual tourism. He thinks, well, I'll get caught, I'll just go back to Israel.
He's right.
And that's exactly
what he did. Wow.
He gets caught with the other Americans. Americans have to face the consequences. The Israelis above the law. We gift wrap him, just like you said, and send him back to Israel. No consequences. So, I mean, look at Jonathan Pollard. So Jonathan Pollard steals our top secrets. That's after Israel already stole our nuclear secrets. Some kind of fucking ally, right? So then Pollard, this is amazing. Netanyahu goes to Clinton back in the late 1990s, actually during the Oslo Accords, and says, we have the tapes of you with Monica Lewinsky, before anybody knew about Monica Lewinsky. First of all...
Wait, and you're going to tell me that these motherfuckers aren't tied to Epstein? Okay.
How does Israel have the tapes? Okay. And then they say, oh, the idea that Israel might blackmail an American politician, that's anti-Semitic. Get the fuck out of here. They already did it. There's a whole book about it. The Israeli press talks about it.
Fuck.
So then private jet is owned by the Adelsons. So that's the same family, Sheldon and Miriam Adelson, that has given Trump $337 million through the 3 presidential elections. So the Adelsons fly him out in luxury and then give him a hero's welcome when he arrives in Israel. Way to betray America. Attaboy. Congratulations, Jonathan Pollard. And Pollard's doing interviews in Israel now, saying, you know, all the Jews in America should betray America and work for Israel. He's saying that. It's on tape.
Wow.
Okay? And the Adelsons, the Israelis gave him a great deal. It's all their fault, right?
Yep. Always just blame the other side and just take it. Because otherwise it doesn't make sense. If these guys aren't being bought and paid for, then they're real just fucking idiots out there just trying to help Israel for like no reason. Next up, we got MSNBC prompters and AI and Al Sharpton reading live.
And by the way, I worked at MSNBC. I was a host on there. I was their 6 o'clock guy 14 years ago, okay? They make everybody use a prompter. And I said, I don't need a prompter. On Young Turks side, we don't use prompters. We have our outline prepared. We're going to tell you we're going to show you the videos. We're going to prove our case. We've got the quotes.
Right.
But I don't need a prompter. I'm just going to tell you a story about it.
Oh, I know why.
No, put it in the prompter.
Yeah, because they want you to make sure you're reading the prompter so that they can change the prompter if they need to and change what you say.
Like, why, right? Okay, first I thought they were just uncomfortable with it. Oh, is he going to be able to handle it? But I did a couple without a prompter, and they're like, oh, he's pretty good at this, right? And the ratings are going up. No, they want you on the prompter because they want to have to say the same thing, right? Now they get to say whatever they want, and they're trying to appeal to the audience, and the audience doesn't want bullshit. The audience doesn't want you kissing Israel's ass. They don't want you kissing donor ass, right? So we're incentivized to tell people things that are true.
Uh-huh.
And the best part of it is, once that brother started using his own mind, they're now in our camp. Because they're going to hear Mark Levin tell you that we should serve Israel. They're going to have Megan say we shouldn't serve Israel. And Mark's cooked. Mm-hmm. He's gone. He's a goner. He's never going to win that fight. That's why Ben Shapiro has almost no audience left.
Right.
Whereas you and Tucker and Megan are doing great on the right. We're doing great on the left. Breaking Points is, and others are. And so Breaking Points has got a right winger too. It's a good independent show. And so in this world, their propaganda runs into our brick wall before our message ran into their brick wall. So that is super good news. So I think already in 2024, online media was more important than mainstream media. That was the first election where we were more important. And in 28, that's going to be an even bigger number. And by that time, it's not going to be under 50. It's going to be under 55. Right?
55,
Now, the older folks vote a lot, so that brain lock they have on TV is important. This is part of the solution. Go talk to your family members. Go talk to your friends. Get them off TV. Get them off that drug. Okay, that drug's killing them. Every time you turn on TV, you're voluntarily allowing someone to lie to you and fill your head with lies, right? So get off that garbage. Go look around. I don't tell people just watch Young Turks. I tell them watch the Young Turks at 6 o'clock Eastern. We do it Monday through Friday. Check it out. But then go watch Sean. Go watch Tucker.
Or watch a show like mine where we comment and talk about all of the best news clips of the day. And right now, let's double check in on our poll of the day with 8 minutes left, guys. 57 remaining. Analytically, we got 3,000, so we're not going to hit that 3-hour marker. We're probably going to go early, not even finish out the 3 hours because we just got this interview. That's pretty much all that we got left. His brain is leaking out of his ear. We got is the next part here.
30s. He's where Trump is now. Biden was there a year and a half before the election. And I'm like, an incumbent that's in the 40s has voters and Democratic voters. Do not listen to leadership. They're full of shit and they're trying to lead you astray. So, Dan, what do they tell us? Oh, you got to support Dan Crenshaw. Why? Why do I have to support Dan Crenshaw? No, I don't, right? If you're a Republican, right? And so, okay, you defeated him. The guy who defeated him is also taking money from AIPAC. Oh, God damn it, right? But what you did was you got people's attention, okay? And one of their guys lost. That's a victory, okay? That doesn't mean you solved everything, but it means you're on the road to solving things. Now, the next most important election is not a Democrat's, even though I'm on the left. It's Tom Massey's election in Kentucky. If they, right now, the singer, Adelson, et cetera, pouring in millions to his cutout MAGA opponent, right? Fill in the blank guy, whoever the fuck he is. It doesn't matter. It's whoever is willing to be
Sure, we'll find out soon.
Yeah, it's whoever's willing to be a dog to the Israelis, right? Okay? So if Massey loses that election, the message is going to go to all the people in the House and in the Senate. Oh, don't oppose Israel. They'll come to get you, and it doesn't matter if you're Bowman on the left or Massey on the right. They'll eliminate you, okay? So on the other hand, if Massey wins the election, the opposite message is going to go out. Oh, shit. AIPAC doesn't have as much power as they used to. And now it turns out supporting AIPAC might cost you elections. And now we got Democrats scrambling going, AIPAC? I didn't say AIPAC. No, I'm not taking money from AIPAC. So even Rahm Emanuel, Obama's former chief of staff, you know what happened? First Persian Gulf War, Rahm is so animated about the war that he joins to serve. Attaboy. Oops, he joined the IDF, not American military.
Really?
Yep. He's an American, went and volunteered with the IDF. Larry Ellison gave $16 million in contributions to the IDF. Okay, so, but I brought him up because Rahm is now running for president. And he's on Bill Maher's show last week, and he goes, you know, we should cut funding to Israel. Really, Rahm?
Right.
Really?
Right.
So we even got Rahm Emanuel, a literal IDF soldier, saying we should cut funding to Israel because he knows he can't win if he says we should keep giving money to Israel.
And we'll just go right back to it, which is why you have to gut the system the way I was saying. I don't think you can leave anybody in there, even Roe, even Massey, who I like both of those guys.
Yep, you got to get rid of them.
I think it has to.
All of them. I am exactly with Sean Ryan. You must vote out every last Congress member because every last Congress member took the vacation. They could have sat on the steps. They could have said, no, I'm not doing it. Here's my TikTok live stream for the next 72 hours. They said, it's not my fault. Every last one of them, left and right, every incumbent must be removed.
You have to get rid of everybody.
No, I'd keep the clean guys, but...
See, that's the corporate bullshit. I keep the clean guys. There are no clean guys.
Here's another encouraging thing from the left.
There are no clean guys. Another encouraging thing from the left. The left is the corporate chills that you apparently hate.
Abdullah El-Sayed's running for that Michigan Senate seat against Haley Stevens.
Why do you think we should keep the clean?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, fucking Sean Ryan.
Guys, how do you know they're clean?
Exactly. How do you fucking know they're clean, motherfucker?
I mean, like I said, I like them, but...
Exactly. I like them, but I also know that they're corporate bullshits.
There's still remnants of the
Yeah.
old system.
Yeah, I hear you, but
get rid of it.
But Sean, hear me out on this. Those guys were brave enough to
with you.
to take on Goliath when no one else would. So I don't.
But is it that, or is it that Roe, Kana, and Thomas Massey think that they can somehow gain some sort of political advantage, like speaking fees or becoming president of the United States if they speak up? I don't think that there is Goliath, like the David versus Goliath that they're acting like this is. I don't think that they were really going out on a limb to defend the Epstein fucking victims. This is ridiculous. Ridiculous. It was for their own advantage, and Sean Ryan can see through it, and so can I. Remove all Congress people. Remove them all.
Good soldiers.
Every one
who
of them.
already started fighting.
Good soldiers. They're not fucking good soldiers. Fighting what?
Leviathan before the cavalry showed.
What are you talking
You see what
about?
I'm saying? So
What the fuck are you talking about?
that's why, and there's not that many of them, so it doesn't really matter. I mean, it's at most 6% of Congress. So if you go with the Sean Ryan strategy of don't even look, vote blind against the incumbents, deal, because you're going to get 94% correct people, right? But we're just talking about the fringes and stuff. But those guys have
Walks away from it. Walks away from it. This fucking coward. He literally called him out and he just walked away from the question. Coward. All right. A former Navy SEAL's reaction to ICE shootings.
6 guys. That's 6 guys in ski masks surrounding an American, a single American woman in a vehicle. What the fuck would anybody have done?
Yeah.
If I was sitting in a car as a former SEAL and CIA guy, and 6 guys came up with fucking ski masks surrounding my car telling me to get the fuck out, I'd do the same damn thing.
And run away.
Yeah, I mean, all she was doing was driving away, and they
That
shot
is
her in
true.
the head. From
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I mean,
was
yeah.
made it sound like
That was
she was
valid.
trying to run him over.
Yeah.
I even if she was, that man, his life was not in fucking danger.
Yeah.
No
And
way.
He should not have
Yeah.
taken that shot.
Yeah.
And then the second one happened.
I
You know, and
agree.
so they're already initiating violence.
That's so important, Sean. So I want to build on that. So they pretend to be tough guys. First of all, if you're a tough guy, law enforcement in this country doesn't wear masks. We wear badges. And what
The only people out there were the ICE agents.
Totally. And what did Preddy do? He went to go protect a woman who was getting pushed around, okay? That's what a patriot's supposed to do. That's what an American's supposed to do. That's what a man is supposed to do, okay? And he didn't protect her with the weapon. He didn't take out the weapon, and they disarmed him, and then they executed him, okay? So that's not what tough guys do. That's what pussies do, okay?
I just don't. I don't like what this guy's doing because he's doing the whole like leftist thing, and you can tell that Sean Ryan's gonna cringe at it too, because it's like that's not the point. That's not the point. Like, you need to talk about the context of what's going on. It's not the point of whether they're macho or not. It's a matter of whether they were doing it correctly.
I also want to say I don't.
Right?
It's called Rachel Good. I know both the names and you don't, and it's not on my side. Weird, but okay. Last one for the night, guys. Last one for the night, guys.
He told us our whole life.
Before we do it, double tap, hit that like button, hit subscribe, y'all. We are back in action. 2 hours and 16 minutes into our show. Last little bit of the clip for the night. Moving forward, we're not going to be going into the crazy lingering hours of the night. Instead, we will be doing the live stream, just covering the news as much as we need to. If we need to go over 3 hours, then yeah, obviously. But tonight, it is very, very much a short night lived. Who will be the president? J.D. Vance wins once again. Let's put him in the retail bucket. So that's 19 wins for Mr. J.D. Vance. And Olivia Rodrigo falls to last place for president. Melania Trump is the only other person that got 7%. So let's check back in with our last clip of the day.
Conspiracy theory, right? Now, Obama has verified that there was aliens. Trump has then kind of accidentally verified it by saying, inside America, are you blind? Are you deaf? Are you insane?
already been doing
Of course they do things inside America. They do things inside America all the time.
Yep. And that is the show, everybody. Thank you guys for tuning in, for joining me back once again for No News is News. I'm your host, Alex R. Wagner. This has been the news, guys. No news is news. Let's recap real quick. With 21 days in, J.D. Vance has 19 wins as president. We have Gavin Newsom with 2 wins as president. And here is the recap of our third-party candidates. Olivia Rodrigo, 7%. Melania Trump, 7%. Thomas Massey, 9%. Alex Jones, 9%. John Fetterman, 9%. RFK, 10%. Bobby Lee, 12%. Stephen Miller, 12%. Elon Musk, 12%. Asmongold, 12%. Joe Rogan, 15%. Mark Cuban, 16%. Michelle Obama, 17%. Afroman, 20%. Tucker Carlson, 21%. Mr. Beast, 22%. Jon Stewart, 22%. Kamala Harris, 22%. All right, guys. It has been a great night. Coming back at you live in the dual streaming. I think tomorrow we might go just vertical just to make sure we can get everybody back on board because tomorrow night is the verdict. I've been saying it the whole time. I've been saying if we get to day 65 and I'm sipping a margarita on Cinco de Mayo and Daddy Trump is in this war, I am not going to be a happy camper. So tomorrow is the margarita and the margarita trials of Mr. Daddy Trump. So do not miss it. We'll be back tomorrow at like 6 p.m., 7 p.m. Central, some shit like that. All right. Hit the subscribe button, hit that bell so you don't forget tomorrow. Peace!